get off that high horse and beat it. You say it's not the way to go, I hope you feel it, but in a way you're the only one that needs it. I know that you think that I'm wrong, but in this life I'm the only one. Do you know what it means that we're the same kind? The desire you feel isn't the same as mine. I could let you go, but why should I? You're my mission tonight. You're nothing but mine, and the sooner you realize that for all the time, I'm the one you can't sacrifice. I'm the first and the last you ever get. So get off that high horse and beat it. You're nothing but mine, and the sooner you realize that for all the time, I'm the one you can't sacrifice. I'm the first and the last you'll ever get. You're nothing but mine, and the sooner you realize that for all the time, I'm the one you can't sacrifice. I'm the first and the last you'll ever get. So get off that high horse and beat it. Beat it.
Good evening, everyone. It is a Wednesday night, which means we are back for more Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series action, and it is round 2 here at Brands Hatch for Split Yellow and Split Green tonight. My name is Alexis Bowen, and joining me, as always, is Sean Muller. How are you, Sean?
I'm very well, Alexis. Hope you are well. Hope all our viewers are having a fantastic Wednesday evening. We are at the beautiful Brands Hatch, and I am very excited for this one.
Yes, Brands Hatch. It is certainly one of the racetracks of all time. I certainly have my opinions about it, but I will let the racing do the talking today as we get into a 15-minute qualifying session for Split Yellow to start things off for tonight.
For those that don't know, Brands Hatch is located in Kent in the Garden of England. Fantastic little circuit, 3.9 kilometres, a real amphitheatre, and it's got some of the most challenging turns that these drivers will face all season, as we are looking at Benjamin Higgin on the screen at the moment for Nova Racing in the Mercedes. Of course, we have 2 mandatory pit stops tonight, so it is a 60-minute race with 2 mandatory pit stops, which should spice up the action.
certainly should, Sean. I will say one of the best things about this track is because it's so short, you have to be very, very precise on pretty much every corner you can. A little bit of loss at one corner can make a huge difference to your lap time. So we will take a look and see how the drivers go tonight as we look onwards at Benjamin Hignett, who's just starting his first lap, going on board now with the Mercedes. Turn one, oh, very wide there.
Extremely wide. That's, of course, Paddock, a very tricky corner to get right now into the Druids. Really important to get good rear traction. It's a little short shoot down to Graham Hill. Then we got a nice little short straight up towards, I feel, the most important corner on the track. This is Surtees. Super important to get this absolutely nailed because you're heading on to Pilgrim's Drop, which is the longest straight on the circuit.
And it's probably the only straight you have on the circuit, really, considering how short it is. But true, now he's certainly getting it nice up to the apex there. Gets it right out wide. Now let's see, this is a really tricky part. Or gets the rear out and onto the grass, into the gravel somewhat. He's kept it going.
Up through Sheen now. Best corner on the track. Love that corner. Maximum commitment through there. Now through Clearways up towards Clark. Just thing with this track as well, it's just it's relentless. It's like going rounds with Oscar De La Hoya. It's just relentless boxing the whole time. Corners just come at you thick and fast.
Feels like a roller coaster as Hignett sets a 24.4 as Vaquita already goes a 23.3, but Regan Herbert not too far behind, only 800ths behind, as Talbot now goes faster than Vaquita by about 800ths of a second. Well done.
Great lap there. I have seen 22s in practice, so I reckon we'll get 20, maybe a mid 22. That will be the Hollywood number, I feel, for pole. And it looks like it's an absolute beautiful day in England as well. There is not a cloud in the sky.
Hold on, did you just put beautiful day and England in the same
I know.
sentence?
I know, oxymoron, I know.
Unrealistic game, I see. But, looking now at Tycoon, who's very wide there. It's not going to give him a good run onto this straight whatsoever. So far we have about 16 drivers who have set a time, the slowest of which at the moment is Jesse McLean, about 3.5 seconds off of Talbot's benchmark.
Also with this track, I found it doing qualifying runs as well. It takes a good 2 to 3 laps to really get the tyres up to pressure and up to temperature. So you really got to set yourself up for a really long qualifying stint.
Hignett now goes faster with a 23 flat. That's a lot better than his previous attempt.
Comes through Clark. You want to run it out as wide as you can and then cut it back across the track. You really want to shorten every part of the circuit. He's up to 9th. Very solid lap.
Now front, it's currently a Mercedes 1-2 actually, with Hignett on provisional pole currently in the pits, and Connor Hind up there in P2. That's nicely done from him.
Of course, quite a few of these drivers couldn't get 2 more diverse circuits coming from Bathurst, of course. At round 1 of the Endurance Series to Brands Hatch, it's a completely different mindset.
Well, at least here you have a bit of runoff before you find a wall.
That is very true, but I don't know, I feel the grass is one of the slipperiest we go to. It feels like every bit of grass on this circuit is like ice.
Yeah, well, this is probably one of the tracks where you actually get closest to the grass, given the way that you have to attack every corner.
I'm on behind at the moment. He's 0.2 down on his best lap at the moment. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer there on the exit. Oh, holds onto it there again. That lap will be scrapped, but he'll be firing up and ready to send it again.
Meanwhile, here's Reynolds, who goes up into P7. nice and tight at the top there. 3/10 separating the top 7 at the moment.
Makita, fresh off claiming the victory in the Bathurst 12 out. Nice line there. Now down Pilgrim's Drop in the BMW. Now through up to Hawthorn. I love this corner as well. Just maximum commitment through here. 0.5 up on the best lap as well. This is going to go into the 22s if she can keep it going.
No, she's invalidated.
Oh yes, I just caught that. It caught my eye. Wow. Maybe just winding up.
Yeah. Here's Josh Morgan, who's on a fairly decent lap at the moment, currently up about 0.4 of a second. That would move him up quite a few positions if he was able to hold on to that. Very smooth now through the end of this lap. He's got 0.6 in the bag. Can he put it somewhere in that top 10? He loses a little bit on exit there, gets it back. Where's that put him? Josh Morgan up into P9, so up into the top 10. Nicely done from the Audi. Looking now at Bracken, who just very wide through there. He's not going to get a good run whatsoever. Yeah, he's pretty much called that lap now. Here's Hobbsy, who has not set a lap as of yet. He will get this lap on the board and it will put him fastest. Wow, first driver into the 22s, and it's Mitch Hobbs with a 22.9.
Fantastic lap from Hobbsy.
That makes it a Mercedes 1, 2, 3. So many times last season, I would always see a Porsche front row lockout, or like Porsche 1, 2, 3. Hopefully this season it's showing some differences with the Mercedes out front.
It does tend to be the Porsche stronger attack. The McLaren's also quite strong here as well, but you see the big Mercs up front. That's a bit of a turn up, but it's always good to see different manufacturers.
He's still going on with this. He's about 0.2 up on his previous best. This could very well solidify his spot right out front.
It's very planted as well.
Oh, 100%. It's about to round the final corner now. He's, yeah, about 0.3 up. This will well and truly improve his time. Will it be a 22.7? That is quick.
Here with Makita now, currently in 7th position, 0.2 up on her best lap.
She's got a bit more to go if she wants to take that pole position though.
Sheen. Such a tricky corner to get wrong. Oh, look at that. Beautiful line. But still lost a little bit of time there, not a lot.
Is it tricky to get wrong or tricky to get right?
That's both.
Yeah, she's about a 10th up at the moment, although she gains a little bit on the exit. That will put her P4, nicely done. Glover's up into P2 now, so the Porsche is showing a bit of pace now. The second driver into the 22s.
It's a Ferrari going off there at Hawthorn, which is very easy to do.
That was Derek Nagel.
currently in 14th.
Got a bit to improve on that yet. A much better line than from when we were looking on board with him earlier. And yeah, look at that, 5/10 up on his previous best now. He's just got to keep it clean and that will move him up plenty of positions. Although there is a bit of a gap between Death in P11 and Morgan in P12, about 2/10, so he very well could slot right in between those two.
Very nice through here. Down into Sterling's. I always find his corner so tricky. You've got to turn in earlier than you think every time.
Forget about Tyquin slowly in between Death and Morgan. He's going to well and truly eclipse them. He's about 6.5 up. Oh, he's lost time through the final corner. But he moves up into P10, so into the top 10 for Tyquin. One Ferrari to another. This is Ashlyn Reynolds, who is currently in P8, although is about 3.5 up on his previous best. So lots of improvements coming in late in this session, as you'd expect. He's got about 3.5 in the bank. Where will that place him on the leaderboard? That will put him into P5. So very, very tight between P3 and P8, 9.
Bakita now, 0.4 up on her best lap, so I expect this to go into the 22s. 0.5 up now. Winding up the BMW. Nice through Sterling's, beautiful exit as well. No hint of oversteer at all. Now through Clearways down towards Clark. Nearly 0.7 up. This might go straight to the top of the timesheets here.
It certainly will.
Stonking lap at 22.4 has put the hammer down.
Yep, the first 13 minutes of the session, Bakita had been almost languishing, like around P5, P6, but yeah, come towards the end of the session and Bakita will have an answer. Now, can Hobbsy put anything in reply in his Mercedes? He's going to be pushing like mad now to try and provide something to fight against Bakita, although that is very wide, and he's given up that, so Hobbsy will not improve on his time. Now Simon Scanlon, who is up about half a second on his previous best, currently in P16.
Second up. Moving up a couple of spots, or more than a couple of spots already.
Half a second, that will put him up into P14. So still that gap showing slightly between P13 and P14. About a 10th now. It's a second pretty much separating the entire top 10, which is insane. Of course, you gotta put into it. You gotta counter in that Bakita is about 3/10 faster than P2, so it is a very, very tight field when you're looking for about P2, P3 down.
I think that's a great part of it. Really short tracks as well. It's always a really close qualifying session. A couple of mistakes, you can drop 4 or 5 spots quite easily.
It's Conahan just finishing up his lap. He's not going to improve. He's got the exact same time as Benjamin Hignett in P6. Would you believe it?
You wouldn't write about it. You wouldn't read about it either.
There is Sicanius, who is currently in P19, the number 27 Ferrari. Currently, 2/10 up, but is really going for it. loses a bit there, maybe just shallowing up the corner entry a bit too much. Yeah, now down to a 10th, gotta just keep it clean. You might possibly gain a position. Nah, I don't think Sicanius will be able to improve now. Yeah, given up. So Sicanius will start P19 at best. In fact, will actually start P19, as that is everyone done this qualifying session.
It's a good session, that one. And of course, now the tricky part. 30 odd cars around Paddock Hill.
Oh yeah, and there will be quite a few drivers looking to make a move up, but it is Makita from Hobbs, Glover doing very nicely there in P3, Talbot, Herbert, Hignett, Hind, Reynolds, Bracken, and Tyquin, I'm pretty sure, is in P10.
As we fly over the grid now. Mercs and Ferraris, and really good mixture of manufacturers in the top half of the group, which is great to see. Well, these fantastic liveries as well.
What are your predictions for the start of this race, Sean?
Well, last round I said there'd be no safety cars, and that lasted all of 30 metres. So I'm actually going to sit on the fence for this one.
Oh, I see. Well, last round I said there was going to be a safety car pretty quick. I am going to say that again, given how tight and narrow this track can really be, especially once you get to turn 2 at Druids.
Of course, with the 2 mandatory stops, it's going to be interesting to see if people go the long run early or go short, or we are going to see, I reckon, a couple of mixture of strategies as well. Traffic will play a part.
Oh, certainly. With the 2 mandatory pit stops, you're going to have quite a few variable strategies.
Of course, you are watching the OOR Simrigs.com Sprint Series Split Yellow from the Asia Pacific region. So tyres are required on both stops.
Yeah, tyres are in fact required as we get ready to go underway for this formation lap. So we see the BMW safety car make its way around. This time it looks like we have a livery on it.
Yep, did come out, I believe, one of the splits last round, so looks great as well.
Oh yeah, the safety car is always a beauty to look at. Especially with that big Simrigs signage. So that is a very creative interpretation of track limits there from the safety car driver. But I think we are in for quite the chaotic race. Brands Hatch, it is so easy to make a little mistake that can cost your entire race, so we could be in for a very, very exciting affair. I don't think it's a 100% set conclusion that Makita will win this one. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Glover wins in the Porsche.
Oh, I like that bold prediction.
Porsche historically has been pretty good around here, and Glover's showing some pretty solid pace, so if he's able to keep it consistent, avoid any Porsche things, he should be in for a pretty good chance at the podium, possibly even the win.
Gonna go really out there, and you might see Regan Herbert there in the Audi. I might see something special this evening.
Ooh, very, very interesting. Well, the safety car is pulling away now, and we will be very, very shortly getting underway with Akita, Hobbs, Glover, Talbot, Herbert, Hignett, Hind, Reynolds, Bracken, Tyquin. Your top 10. We will be underway very, very shortly for the hour-long race here at Brands Hatch for Split Yellow. Akita seems to have quite the gap to any car behind her. And we are green. We're gunned away, and the Audi has gotten a fantastic start up the inside of Glover. That is actually Regan Herbert, who's made a lightning start, but Makita will lead through turn 2 now as we see, will we have any drama? It's all looking fine and dandy right now. Everyone's keeping it clean. Got a bit of fighting going on back here with Bracken and Tyquin going side by side now. Oh, this is tight stuff. Tyquin up the inside. Can he get it done? I think he has. Yes, he has. So now we got Scanlon looking for a move on the Porsche. Oh, this is tight going around the outside. You don't want to hold it out for too long. And they've managed to make it work, so that's nicely done. I think we've been mostly in set 3. There are a few drivers that have dropped down towards the back of the field, but for the most part, it's very well done there from Split Yellow, as Makita is in the lead from Hobbs and Glover.
Great opening lap there from Split Yellow, but the big mover was Regan Herbert up three positions from the start, so fantastic start in the Audi there. We're on board with Benjamin Hickman at the moment, working on the back of Talbot into Paddock Hill, trying to go around the outside. That's bold. Seems better on it, tucks it back in.
Looks like one of the drivers who had caught up at the start was Connor Hind, so Connor Hind is nowhere within that top 10 anymore. And there he is in the pits, so having to do a pit stop very early on.
Being the 2 mandatory pit stops, you can adjust your strategy on the fly, so Connor Hind, I dare say, will now have a pretty long second stint. Let's see if we can make up positions through the field.
For a minute, I thought Death was going to have a go up the inside there of Scanlon, but has thought better of it for now.
Neil chasing Death.
That is very ominous.
Chops pops in the fast lap, a 23.5 race lap, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's alright, as McNeil up the inside of Death and is able to withstand Death.
He really sliced Death up there.
So up into the top 10 for Austin McNeil and the Aston Martin, getting ahead of the other Aston Martin of Death. Now Price, who is actually doing quite nicely in the AM Class BMW, is staring down the barrel of Sasha Death.
So I've just rechecked the race specifications or race rules we'll go with. It is a pit window, so it's 5 minutes either side, so that's not going to work behind you there, so he's going to have to come in twice again.
Yeah, he's clearly gotten a fair bit of damage on that first lap. That is unfortunate there for Connor Hind, who had qualified nicely for this race, but it's not to be today for him. Oh, as we see Audi tings. And I believe that has hit the wall as well. That is Bishop. As Bakita sets past a 23 flat race lap. Come on, you really? Oh, that is just insane pace. Scanlon's dropped down a fair bit in the leaderboard. I reckon he's made a mistake somewhere. He's now down into P17. P16, P17, I would suspect. Yeah, he's just there in P16 behind Morgan, and I believe that's McLean. But take a look at what happened to Connor Hind. Oh, he's... Oh.
Yeah, he took too much at Sheen, and that sort of backed him up a little bit, and then the Ferrari behind just got into the back of him, and that sent him into the wall, which is instant pit stop.
Yeah, I don't think there was much either driver could do there. I mean, of course, there was always the question of why so much curb, and possibly from the Ferrari, which I believe was Ashlyn Reynolds, maybe just like holding back a little bit, but I don't think there'll be anything from that.
Yeah, looks a bit of a racing incident from mine. As Bakita now drops another 23 flat, if you don't mind. Yep, cool.
Yeah, no worries. Glover is having to defend from two very, very quick drivers behind in Regan Herbert and Jeremy Talbot. These two are known historically to be quite quick. That is Bakita.
It is.
Bakita's made an error. Bakita has spun and is now dropped behind Hobbs and Glover. So we have a race on our hands. But look, Bakita already with that straight line speed is going up the inside of Glover and should get that move back up to P2, and that is now opened the door for Regan Herbert to have a go at Glover into the next quarter bit. And now, Glover's just getting absolutely bullied here, and he's gonna lose out. So goes up into P2, a few quarters later, already down to P5. That is how quickly your race can unfold if someone makes a move on you.
Right there, just highlights Brands Hatch in a nutshell. As soon as you get offline, you can drop 3-4 spots in a heartbeat.
But I'd be interested to see how Bakita lost it, but she is going to be absolutely running a rampage for the rest of this race.
Here we go, up into Druids. Now, is too much power on the exit of Druids? No. Oh, I reckon it's outside curb into Graham Hill, guaranteed.
Yeah, looks like it. She managed to save it for the most part.
Certainly has changed the positions around. Regan Herbert up to third position. I had a gut feeling this evening.
Well, Herbert is a very, very quick driver, and he made a rapid start. So, it's a good sign so far from the Audi. Here is Ashlyn Reynolds, who was caught up in that incident with Connor Hind on the start. And is now going to get past Jesse McLean. Jesse didn't put up much of a fight there. Knew that that is not his race.
Reynolds on the big recovery here. This battle's been a nice little battle. Oh, as I said that.
That's a replay of what happened to the Audi before. So that was what we were on board with before. Now Reynolds has already made the move up to P17, so has gone ahead of a few drivers there. But out front it is still Mitch Hobbs from Philippa Bakita and Regan Herbert, with Jeremy Talbot and Sean Glover close behind. I will say this has been a nice start from the current Pro-Am leader, Dylan Teichmann, he's been very quick so far, currently in P6.
I'd say Teichmann, McNeil and Death, all three of them, fantastic start from our Pro-Ams.
I'm pretty sure they all started line astern on the grid too, so they've all kept together nicely.
Teichmann could just get his head down here a little bit, see if he can actually make some inroads here on Glover. He's certainly gapped the, I was going to say, yeah, he's gapped the two behind him as well, so he's on the charge.
Oh yes. We take a look at Luke Marvel. That is a very arts and crafts style car. Looks like he's given some kinder kids a few paint buckets and some free time to just, yeah, absolutely cover that car with colour. I will say it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
So we look at a nice battle forming here. This is Crick, Reynolds, Morgan and McLean all dueling it out for top 15, and Reynolds will try and make quick work of Mike Crick up the inside here. And Crick lets him go, but that is put him very offline, and now, yeah, he's gonna get done here by Morgan and possibly McLean. Oh, McLean's gone onto the grass on the outside. McLean's now gonna have to go around the outside. And he's done it. So Crick just getting offline has allowed everyone else to get through. Again, that same story of just slightly offline and your momentum can be completely lost.
Rob Delio picks up a 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 1.
That is unfortunate, as Death is all over the back of McNeil now. Oh, just very wide there.
I was on board with a couple of Astons through an early practice today and just noticed that, yeah, oversteer on exits is something a couple of Aston drivers I was watching are struggling with at the moment.
Yeah, well, Ashland Reynolds has picked up a 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 1. So they have deemed that Reynolds is in fact at fault for the incident between Connor Hind, I believe.
I believe that's why, Alexis, we're in the commentary booth and not in the steward box.
Very much so, yes. Yeah, I have heard a few things about the Aston this week around Brands Hatch. I've heard that depending on your setup, it can either be hella understeery or oversteery. So, it's a matter of what you prefer. I think around here, I'd probably prefer a bit more of an oversteery car, just so you can actually get into the corners all right.
Oh, I agree with that as well. You definitely want to get the nose in nice and early in a lot of these corners.
Yes, oh, look here. There's a nice battle forming here. Tyquin's just dropped back a touch. I reckon he may have made a mistake somewhere because he was about a second up on these two. And now it's a three-way battle for the Pro-Am lead.
So, Tyquin now, he's going to have to keep an eye on that rear view mirror because McNeil looks racy, Death looks racy as well. This is a fantastic fight. And look at that, in ninth position. Price there, our top AM driver.
Got some information from Matt Powell on Price. He is on his debut stepping up from rookies, and if considering his pace, I don't think he'll be an AM driver for much longer. He is showing some absolute colours out there in his Sprint Series debut.
Look at Death here all over McNeil. He's giving him the left, the right, the left, the right, trying to find a way past. McNeil's placing it as an absolutely inch perfect hit.
Yeah, and McNeil's having to defend heavily against the other Aston Martin. So I'd say it's only a matter of time before someone makes a move, whether that be a pit stop or Death getting a overtake done. Yeah, Sasha Death looks super quick right now.
This is the key around Brands Hatch as well. It's such a hard place to pass as Joshua Morgan picks up a 15-second penalty. Patience is everything around here. A lot of the times you'll make a move actually by forcing the other driver into a mistake by just keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, and making yourself very much visible in the rear view mirror. Because sometimes that pressure you see in the mirror can make you go, hey, yeah. And there can be a mistake. But Death is looking highly ominous right now.
If I'm Death as well, I'm starting to think about maybe an early pit stop. Try and get some clear track.
I'd say you'd want to come into the pits, maybe even this lap, just to get out of the traffic. Although, considering a pit stop is pretty much the length of the entire track, you very well could just end up in traffic again.
Oh, is that typing? You had a
Yeah, that is
big
typing.
error.
And now that is allowing McNeil around the outside at turn 1, and he gets it done, I think. Yeah, he has. So McNeil up in the P6 and the Pro-Am lead. So there is now a car between McNeil, excuse me, McNeil and Death. I reckon Taekwon's just starting to struggle a touch on those tyres, and with the Ferrari can be a tricky car to keep straight.
It is one of those cars, once the tyres just get a little bit second hand, the Ferrari does turn into diva mode, 100%.
Meanwhile, out front, for a few laps, Hobbsy was keeping Bakita at bay, but the gap is now down to 0.6 of a second. So we have a battle on here for outright P1. As we see, oh, Jake Graham is off track. That is a tricky spot. He's got to make his move right to get back out there. There's a gap about to appear very shortly that he can possibly slot himself into. Hobbsy's doing nicely out front. He's managing the race pace very well.
Last lap there for Hobbsy was a 23.9. Bakita did a 23.8, so there is not much in it at all.
Yeah, these two will be very tight, and Herbert also doing a 23.9, so nothing really separating the top 3 at the moment, other than, yeah, just those gaps. Bakita doesn't quite look like she's fully on it at the moment. Possibly she's just making sure that she gets to the pit stops and is able to possibly find some advantage there. She is very smart with her strategies. I'm sure that she has something up her sleeve.
Kind of high on the huge recovery drive. Sam Bracken at the moment, currently in 24th. Number 529, Fly Program Racing Porsche. I do love watching a Porsche around Brands Hatch. It just looks natural.
We all have our opinions.
I was waiting.
Although this time I'm not sure whether it's the Porsche or the track for me.
As Bakita comes into the pits, Taekwon's in as well.
So we have Bakita now just coming in, so going to attempt to find an undercut, although she'll hope that she can get out into a nice bit of clean air, which is definitely at a premium around Brands Hatch, given how short it is. It is one of the shortest tracks in the game.
Is it the shortest?
Is Zolder shorter?
Wouldn't be much in it. I feel like. Well, there's a question for chat. Shortest track in ACC. Off you go. So what does Hobbs do here? Does Hobbs come in, or does Hobbs stay? Hobbs stays out.
If Hobbs feels like he's got the pace, then he'll keep going.
Ah, Thomas Prius, yes. Laguna Seca, of course. So we're looking at a replay here. This is Jacob Trainer at the moment. It's a bit of sadness. Yes, it is. Bit of a boop.
Okay, so the length of Brands Hatch is 3.9 kilometers. The length of Laguna Seca is 3.6 kilometers.
There you go. For some reason, though, Laguna Seca feels longer. I don't know why, but it just does.
Likely because it has a few more corners where you have to brake. And Zolder is 4 kilometers, so yeah, Laguna Seca would actually be the shortest, I believe, unless any of the British GT tracks are shorter.
So Bakita's popped out in 10th position here and in beautiful clean air as well.
She's worked that out pretty well.
All over the back of Perkins here.
Hobbsy is in. So now this is crucial. Who comes out in front? Is it Philippa Bakita, who's had some free air on those new tyres, or will Hobbsy hold on to his lead?
This will be really tight, I reckon.
We'll see when Hobbsy starts moving all over. Bakita has just gone onto the grass there, pushing that little bit too hard, I reckon. Trying everything. She likely knows that Hobbs is in the pits. Hobbs is still stationary. Hobbs is now moving. It is going to be very tight. No, Bakita's got it. Bakita is ahead.
By quite a margin.
I wonder if Hobbs has actually missed his pit box slightly and has had to be pushed back.
That's pretty much the only explanation I can think of, because his lap times didn't really drop off on his way in, so...
That is very interesting for the complexion of this race, but it's Philippa Bakita who is now in the net race lead. Because yeah, the gap's now 3.3 seconds, so it would have to be something related to missing pit box or just not quite getting the pit entry right.
Yeah, to lose that much time, 100%.
Because he was about a second up before the pit stop.
Talbot and Death still running around, so is Reynolds, so...
They're going along in their first stints. They can basically do quali laps for their final stints. Yeah, look at the gap. It's nearly 4 seconds between Bakita and Hobbs already. So Bakita has worked her strategy very, very well.
Big gainer here is Herbert. Regan Herbert right on the back of Hobbs here. Looking for a way past them, which would be a net second position.
There's just a car on the outside there just gone off. That was Mike Crick, was it? That was Mike Crick.
Yep.
But yeah, Herbert is right up close to Hobbs, so yeah, Hobbsy's definitely had a bit of a shocker in the pits.
There's Glover on the back of it. Oh, he had a bit of a look there, showed the nose.
And trying to encourage the mistake out of McNeil. That's probably his only form of attack, is to just try and get a mistake. Not going to get the run on the straights, just given how slow that Porsche is in the straight line. You see Marvel come into the pits now.
That's the other thing with Rams as well. One of the trickiest pit entries that we visit all season.
Oh yeah, it is so tricky. Very, very easy to get it wrong. Now look back at Zacanias. Now, yeah, you can see just how tight that pit lane is, because you've got to tighten up your entry, but then you've got this chicane to maneuver. It's not a straight line in. You have to slow down, or else you're going to be hitting a wall.
Hitting the wall, very easy to get speeding in the pit lane, and then the exit is not exactly peaches and cream either, because it shoots you out literally straight onto the racing line at Paddock Hill.
Yep, very, very safe.
Go through the trees, the Garden of England. Such a picturesque circuit as well. And of course got plenty of history.
Just getting a question of where we can see Hobbs's pit entry is it's been a few. They've seen some skid marks into the pit entry wall. So that could actually be where Hobbsy's actually lost out, maybe just getting that wall on pit entry.
Probably the most logical explanation I can think of.
Well, the most logical explanation other than just missing the pit box.
Not as exciting as buggering at the pit entry though.
Oh yeah. We're seeing quite a few penalties now. Trainor has a 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 13. Unlucky 13 for Trainor. Currently out front it is Talbot and McLean, but they still need to make their first pit stop. So in the next race lead at the moment it is Bakita, although the current leading driver who's made all of their stops is Benjamin Hignett down in P22. As, oh god, Bakita's set a 22 in the race. Just, yeah, no worries. Just a casual 122.9.
So Hignett there going for the big brain strat, getting everything out of the way nice and early.
I think the only problem for Hignett now is that he's going to have slower cars ahead of him that he has to pass on merit.
That is correct. Really, for it to work for Hignett, he needs to catch drivers as they're about to come in for it to really pay off here.
Problem is, a lot of drivers have only just come in for their pit stops, so there's still a while yet before you'd assume, but there's a few moves going on here. We've got Crick, who is still yet to make his first stop, just letting some of these faster drivers through with McNeil and Glover. McNeil's doing nicely this race. Take a look back at Riley Price, who is having a very nice run in his first Sprint Series race. I think we can already say congratulations on your promotion for the next race, Riley Price.
Yeah, I think that one's a foregone conclusion.
I'd say the Pro-Am class is calling.
I mean, it depends where he finishes. Might even get that fancy white box.
I don't think he'll be rushed into the white box so quickly, but I reckon
Never
he could.
know.
I reckon he could be a real contender for that Pro-Am title, given it's still very early in the season as Crick finally comes into the pits.
Just waiting on Talbot now to come in, and then we'll have our first cleansing of the field.
There's still a few throughout the field that need to make a pit stop. That is McLean and Cranich. They still need to make their first pit stops as well. Out front, Talbot's just going about his duty as he normally would. But yeah, he'll pretty much be on qualifying laps for the rest of this race.
Which at Brands Hatch is very tricky to do for 30 odd
We're
minutes.
halfway through. Keep pushing.
It's possible though. I mean, Talbot is a very clean and consistent driver. He is more than capable. Oh, speaking of qualifying laps, Bakita, another 22.9.
Wow.
She's gapped obviously by about 5 seconds. Just through that pit stop and outright pace. So that first stint may not have been very good for Philippa Bakita, but she is on fire now.
Harrod currently in 11th.
Doing nicely in the Lexus there. Yeah, currently in the top 10.
Did see a post before the other day about the new cars for the SRO season, and there was no GTR, Bentley, and Lexus, I believe.
Yep, none of those, which is salute. RIP to the fallen cars.
It does make sense though when you think about it. Of course, all three cars kind of superseded now in GT3 racing around the world.
Mm.
Even though I did read that a GTR actually got into SRO Asia in real life. So there you go.
There you go. But what? What is that lap time, Bakita?
Oh, wow.
A 22.6. That is faster than anyone else did in qualifying, other than herself. I'm sorry, but that's just too good.
That is a true Hollywood number right there.
A fire has well and truly been lit under Philippa Bakita, as we have a few questions. Did someone say KFC?
Yeah, I've got that song stuck in my head now.
There you go. There.
Talbot finally comes into the pits now. So with 27 seconds left, 27 minutes, I'll try that again, Sean. We'll most likely split it in half, but that'll be a very quick Aston Martin.
Oh yes. Anyways, nice sound effect in the background there, Sean.
Yep, that's my road that I live on. They do treat it like Conrod Straight some days at around this time of the night.
Very, yeah, just very. As McLean is also into the pits as Talbot exits and will be just ahead of this battle here. Mitch Hobbs, 5-second penalty for an infraction on lap 17.
Infraction?
That is interesting.
I don't think I've ever seen an infraction come up on from race control.
Yeah, it's not a common one, that's for sure. I'd be interested to see what that infraction is for.
Jared Richardson at the moment, tailing 21st. So Jacob Traynor there, who is carrying a 10-second invoice.
There's quite a few holding an invoice, a few 10 seconds, some 15 seconds throughout there, and of course the 5-second for Mitch Hobbs, which certainly doesn't do his race any favours.
That is correct, Raleigh. There is a Toyota GT3 prototype in the works, or Lexus. Here we go. We're going to get a bit of a replay here of Mitch Hobbs' infraction.
This looks like he's made a bit of a boop on Mike Crick. Yeah, he has.
Yep. Slight boot, yes.
Oh. Hmm. And
Yep.
he's done the flashing.
Yeah, flashing the lights. Ah,
I see. So that is what the infraction is for the flashing of the headlights. Because of course, Crick did not need to move aside there. That was for position.
that is correct.
Because of
So-
course, if it was blue flags, you'd be able to flash, but because it was for position, you are not allowed to flash the alley driver.
That is right. That is a rule in the regulations.
So Hobbsy will not be happy with himself. So I assume it's just that muscle memory kicking in, and yeah.
But we move on as we're looking at Sasha Death there. I currently see it all over the back of Glover here. I feel like Death's just been in battles this whole race. It looks like Glover's just getting up to speed now. Just gapping a little bit. Just seems to be going back and forth a little bit. Let's get some comparative lap times there. So, yeah, definitely Death is quicker at the moment in terms of pace. But Glover, just looks like Glover's just getting up to speed now and maybe be able to put down a nice solid mid-23.
Meanwhile, out front, Bakita has just been on another level this stint.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mega stint, this one. I don't want to go early, but dare I say a race-winning stint.
Oh yeah, I mean if she keeps it on track from here, I don't think there's any doubt. But as I said, it was not a foregone conclusion that she was going to win this one because she did have that incident in her first stint.
So Hobbs now will absolutely have the foot to the firewall trying to build that 5-second gap. Just so Regan cannot overtake there in the pits. And based off his last lap time, Mitch Hobbs there just dropped in a 23.2 if you don't mind.
That's a pretty decent lap. Regan Herbert is really pushing that Audi now. And
Oh,
Herbert's in.
interesting pit entry. That's very late.
Yeah, probably just trying to push as much as he can on that entry. Be interesting to see whether he actually got in time before the dotted lines became solid. Although I am not sure whether the stewards are actively looking at that. You'd think they would.
course, you haven't really drove brands until you've drifted into the pantry.
Yes, that is true.
Here's Morgan and McLean at the moment. Great battle.
Many great battles throughout the field, really. It's been action all over, but then again, that is usually a factor when you're going around tracks as short as this, although Bakita is coming onto these two, so these two will just need to let the BMW go. In fact, Morgan's actually come in, so gets him out of the way nicely.
Here at the moment, so Hobbs just dropped in another 23.3, so definitely got the foot down. It's our leader now coming up to a lap, I believe. Is that McLean? It is McLean.
Yeah,
So-
that is the driver currently in P10. So Bakita is lapping the driver in P10.
That is the pace right there.
Although, I guess Bakita does still need to make a pit stop, but then again, so does Jesse.
So currently on track at the moment, by the looks of our lead driver who has completed all mandatory pit stops is Regan Herbert.
Seems Hignet's strategy has not paid off. He's 17.4 seconds off of Glover. So his strategy has not done him any favors today. If you look at
Oh, look at
And-
this.
bit of a gaggle here for P14, if you don't mind. Oh, that is going to be tight. Oh, they make it work. That is Reynolds ahead of Zakanias. Oh, and Perkins is off. We see now a few more drivers come in, so we are getting towards the end of this race. 18 minutes to go. Sorry, but we have about 13 minutes on the pit window, so you will see the remaining pit stops within that allotted time as Bakita, Hobbs, Taekwon and Herod are all in the pits.
Scan on the moment. So another one has done all his stops.
So Bakita, that is Hobbs, so Hobbs is out ahead by a distance ahead of Regan Herbert.
Those last sort of 5 laps there from Hobbs were a big reason on why that's happened.
Very much took the attitude of, okay, I will just drive faster. And that is what he's done, and he's ended up consolidating well, at the moment, what would end up being a P2 position.
Scanlon working on the back of Marvel here. Marvel does owe us a pit stop though.
Spidey and Marvel, what do you know? Oh, Hignet's race has not gotten any better. He's got 10 seconds for causing a collision on lap 25. That is naughty.
And that will be tacked onto at the end of his race time because he has served all his stops as well.
Yes, he has. It looks like Herbert is actually a fair way down on Hobbs by about 2.5 seconds. Maybe. Oh, Hignet's now got a 5-second penalty for an infraction on lap 25. Has he done a bit of naughty flashing? So that is now 15 seconds to be added on to his time at the end of the race.
When it rains, it pours. On board here, which is great to see. It just shows the technical nature of this track.
Yeah, it is a highly, highly technical circuit, Brands Hatch.
And extremely bumpy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't want to have your direct drive wheel set to 100% force feedback around here. Oh, Herbert just gets loose a bit there on the inside curb. Again, that is to be expected somewhat of the Audi. It can throw you around a bit.
And it doesn't tell you about it either.
No. Interestingly, Kranich has yet to do a single pit stop, and there's 9 minutes left in the pit window.
That's bold.
Interesting. Is that a Bender Strat on Extreme? Oh, Jesse McLean.
Oh, no.
Jesse has had an error and is lost a fair amount of time now. He'll need to bring that in. But yeah, interesting strategy from Paul Kranich. I wonder if he knows that it's 2 mandatory pit stops.
He's going to find out very quickly. Oh, it does pop up in your little box. It's going to look at me. Can you see what happened?
I reckon this is just inside
Sheen?
curb.
Is this a Sheen thing? It looks like it is a Sheen thing. Yep. Caught the grass. Very easy to do that.
Yes, so easy. We'll see if Kranich ends up coming in for 1 stop. So we need to come in for 2. Oh, he's in the pits. So he's going to do his 2 stop. It's a very interesting strategy, I will admit. Probably not the ideal strategy.
I mean, almost have to come out again, maybe do 1 or 2 laps tops and back in. So certainly going to drop him down the order.
So now look at Keita out front. Well, currently P2, but is in the net race lead. As Talbot will need to come in.
Keita is back into the 23 flats.
Yep, Bakita doing Bakita things.
Pretty much.
Hobbs has set a nice time to a 23.1, if my eyes are correct.
That is correct. Yep, 23.1. And Herbert there dropped a 23.7. So it's like Hobbs has held off the challenge for Herbert now.
Yeah, well and truly, I'd say. Now, Reynolds is coming onto the back of Price, who is having a very clean race, and at the moment, if he stays where he is, he will actually finish in the top 10 thanks to Benjamin Hignet's penalty, but he has to withstand the pressure from the very fast, very quick Ashlyn Reynolds as he gets very loose through the last corner, but holds on to it.
What a test for Price. So there's someone like Reynolds coming up behind you in a very quick Ferrari. He's going to earn his top 10 here.
Marvel has... Oh, Never mind. I was just about to say Marvel had a drive-through penalties. I was wondering if that was for track limits, but no. Look, that is being changed over to a 10-second penalty, so that is for speeding in the pits.
Again, quite easy to do.
Yes, as Talbot, speaking of pit lane, he is in. Talbot is in the pits and is just coming out now. There is Regan Herbert. They're going to be side by side through turn 1. Herbert around the outside, Talbot on the inside. Herbert's gotten loose, and that has cost Regan Herbert the opportunity to get ahead into P3. So Talbot's strategy has worked nicely, but maybe a switch back with the blue flag. That is so close. And now Regan Herbert around the outside. Can he get something? No. Talbot holds on, but those tyres will be cold. They will not be very, very warm tomorrow. Herbert has to make a move soon, or else he is not going to get the opportunity to take a podium. Talbot is very wide. Herbert just does not quite get the run on the exit. I think Talbot has got this under control, but we've still got 10 minutes left of this race. This is on for P3.
Did we all see Regan Herbert there drifting through Paddock Hill? That was amazing to watch. What an exchange.
Oh, certainly. It was so tight. For a minute there, I thought Herbert was off, but he held on like a champ. Oh, Bakita's done another fastest lap, a 22.5. Okay. Sure. Oh, Herbert's got a run now. This is tight. He's got the slipstream from the Aston Martin. He's going to have a go around the outside into turn 1. That switches to the inside for turn 2, maybe. He's going to have to make a big dive, and he's dived it, and he's very late, and they make contact, and he's around.
Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, redress there from Talbot. Great sportsmanship. I've seen that. But spin is a spin. That was very deep there by Herbert, though, up into Druids. Always was never going to make that apex.
Yeah, I almost wonder whether Herbert went too deep there, because there really wasn't a lot that Talbot could do.
Oh, agreed.
But either way, Herbert is up into P3, but Talbot will be quick at the end of this race with those fresh tyres and very low fuel. Herbert's been out there on those tyres for a little while now, so...
And has also been sideways quite a few times, and tyres don't like that. Wow, it looks good. The rubber underneath, he's not a fan.
No. Oh yeah, Kranich is doing his second pit stop. He's remembered.
Going for the big bold strategy, I like it.
Something a bit different. Now this battle for P3 will rage on to the end of this race. We still got 7.5 minutes to go. This is going to be quite the end. Meanwhile, Reynolds has been able to get ahead of Price, so no top 10 this time around unless someone else has an incident or gets a penalty for Price, but still, fantastic race from him.
I'm going to say also a great race from McNeil and Death up there in 5 and 6.
Oh, they've driven fantastic, those two Aston Martins. They are well and truly going to be your main two in that fight for Pro-Am victory for the end of the season.
Here is Riley Price on debut, Team 97. I wonder if he's a Shane Van Gisbergen fan. Just putting it out there. Talbot now, just a little bit of time there to have it. It's not a lot, but it's just a little bit.
He's got to really bide his time now. He can't afford to make a rash move. He's still got 6 minutes, but he does have to keep in mind that the advantage he has on those tyres will only last him so long.
And that's the other thing as well. It's all good having a grip advantage, but you've got to think, where am I going to do the move?
Yep, and that is exactly what befell the real life Bathurst 12 hour a few weeks ago between the battle between Marrow and Jules Gounon. That ended in a bit of a disaster, but in the end both drivers still got to the end of the race. In fact, we had a few similar moments in the memorable Bathurst 12 hour that OR ran over the weekend. It was quite the race, but looking now, his trainer on Mike Crick up the inside of Druids. It's tight through there, but he's got it done. But now they have to keep in mind they have blue flag behind to Zicanius. Oh, and that train has run very wide, has let Mike Crick back through. Now Zicanius is going to look to get something done, but no. Oh, and he's been spun.
Oh, yeah, wow.
There is Philippa Makita as well.
Surely not.
I wonder if was there some contact there between those two.
I'm sure we'll get a replay of that. This fantastic battle for third at the moment. It's still raging on. Last lap time for Herbert was a 23.7, 23.5 for Talbot. Here we go.
I reckon they have. Yep. Oh no. Oopsie. Well, we will see whether that has any anything to write about for the end of this race.
I'll plead the fifth on that one. Let's look at this. Talbot's got a big run there on Herbert, because Herbert had a massive mistake. Talbot now is going to try and fire it up the inside here at Paddock Hill. Gets it done.
Nicely, but Herbert is going to have a run now into turn 2. Will he do the same thing that he did before? No, he's going to have to go around the outside. Talbot defends the inside nicely. Good respect from those two, but Talbot holds on.
Oh, Herbert's
no,
gone.
He's gone. But he saved it. How has he saved that? Wow. Oh, and that Audi is... Oh, he's struggling now.
Those tyres are very second-hand, and he's going to come under pressure from McNeil here. Oh, actually, the gap's... He might be okay with that gap, but...
Yeah, he'll be fine with that gap.
But that, yeah, that Audi would not be nice to drive.
No. He'll need to be careful from here. He just has to consolidate that P4. Philippa Makita has a 10-second penalty, so that will not have a bearing on this race, as the gap between Makita and Hobbs is about 16 seconds. I know, 14 seconds. Still, that is enough for Makita to still hold on to the lead of this race.
Yeah, 2 minutes remaining.
Wow, that is a big moment, and that will be a few penalty points there for Makita as well. That could have a bearing later on in the season if there's more incidents like that. But Hobbsy will now well and truly be kicking himself for the flashing earlier on. Because if he hadn't have done that flashing, he would have been within that 10 seconds of Makita and very well could have won this race.
Very much so. I was just thinking about that as was typed there by Diaboles as well, and as you were saying it, I'm like, oh jeez, just those little moments.
Just those little things that you do can have a massive impact on your race. But we'll be going into the final lap now as Philippa Makita crosses the line to start the final lap of this race. She has been very, very good, although a few mistakes have crept into her race today. you just hope that that won't impact the season in the long term. But today, it will be Bakita's day.
Matthew Herod there, ninth, but he's quietly stuck under the radar there, just been going about his thing.
Yeah, he's been driving quite nicely, has Herod, in that Lexus there. The Lexi doing quite alright.
Currently in 21st. Him and Crick have been going at it, but it is Philippa Bakita who has had a bit of an interesting race, but has really looked dominant. Once she got out in front, never really been challenged, popping in a 22.5 fastest race lap, if you don't mind, as well. And she's going to take the victory. What a performance, what a drive, what a driver. Philippa Bakita is going to win round 2 of Split Yellow in the OLR Simrigs Sprint Series from Brands Hatch. Great drive. Mitch Hobbs will finish in second position with a fantastic drive. Flashing the lights again, yep, I see it. Mitch Hobbs there in second, but my driver of the day, Jeremy Talbot, what a stunning drive in third position.
Yeah.
Really just great drive from Talbot.
Yeah, Talbot made a different strategy work today and has come out of it with a podium, but I think my driver of the day has to be McNeil, P5 for the Pro-Am driver. That is a great effort, and shout out to the Sasha Def just behind in P6. That is P1 and P2 in Pro-Am, P5 and P6 overall. That is very nicely done. And Herod's been able to get Taekwon on this last lap.
Well done, Herod. So he's moved up another spot. He's had a great race.
Oh, has he ever? Benjamin Hignett will be P10 across the line, but will drop down to, I'd say, P12 by the end of this lap, thanks to his 15-second penalty. So that will mean Reynolds will go up to P10 and Price into P11, as that is it for Split Yellow. You look through the order, it was Philippa Bakita ended up 3.9 seconds ahead after that penalty from Mitch Hobbs, Jeremy Talbot, Regan Herbert, Austin McNeil, Sasha Def, Sean Glover, Herod, Taekwon, and Reynolds your top 10. Pro-Am, you had McNeil, Def, Taekwon, Scanlon, and McLean your top 5, while in the AM class, well done, Price. That is a great debut with Crick and Dilio just behind, followed by Nagel and Graham. Then your silver class drivers, Sakanius driving very well from Richardson, Marvel, and Bishop. Well, so that is Split Yellow for round 2 of the Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series here at Brands Hatch. We will have Split Green approaching very, very shortly, as their qualifying will start in about 5 minutes' time. Well, what a race. What are your thoughts on that, Sean?
Certainly didn't disappoint. Had a couple of fantastic moments with some really great exchanges as well. That exchange between Herbert and Talbot was great to watch. The drifting from Herbert as well was very impressive. We saw some very interesting strategies as well. Kranich with the big bold strategy of saving his 2 pit stops right to the very end. But yeah, definitely didn't disappoint, and very keen for Split Green coming up now.
Yes, I'm sure Split Green will be quite the exciting one, as there are some very, very quick drivers there. I will just stick around for a little bit longer while we await the start of Split Green. But yeah, great race from Split Yellow, never disappoints. The pace of the drivers there, not only in the qualifying but the race, was just outstanding.
I think what's interesting as well, for Brands Hatch, it was actually pretty well behaved.
Yeah, I was surprised there was no safety car that race. So very well behaved from Split Yellow there. And yeah, there were quite a few good moves there. So very nicely done.
As we do welcome in Damiano Circolini. I've probably butchered it again as per normal. Good evening.
G'day, Sean. G'day, Alexis. No, got the name spot on right. Wow, what a race.
Oh yeah, it was certainly one to put into the history books. Just a lot of drama. For an hour-long race around Brands Hatch, it was thoroughly exciting race to watch. I hope Split Green is equally as exciting, and I will leave you two to it.
Thank you,
Alexis.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
I saw, unfortunately, Hobbs had a momentary lapse of the concentration with the light flashing, which unfortunately cost him a win.
Yeah, I think he'll be having a bit of a think about that one. He did flash the lights quite a lot when he came across the line, so he definitely, I think, was aware of it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I saw the move on Mike. I thought he actually tapped Mike Crick, but no, Mike, it looks like Mike went off by himself, unfortunately.
So here we are with Split Green, who have just still in free practice at the moment, so they'll just be winding up for their qualifying session. So, how are you? How have you found sort of tonight's racing, and also do you enjoy the 12-hour?
I did enjoy watching the 12 hours. There was a lot of content going on there, a lot of incidents, a lot of unfortunately sloppy rejoins, which was got penalised quite heavily, and so they should. But I've noticed tonight the penalties not as severe, but just as frequent.
Yeah, I was saying just split yellow there was not a lot of real big boops. It was sort of just your typical Brands Hatch stuff, maybe just slightly out braking, but nothing really sinister, unlike what we saw in round one.
Yes, very much so. It's just like minor errors of judgment, someone being a little bit slow on the quarter entry or a corner exit, and a faster guy who's maybe the opposite, faster on the entry and slower on the exit, and just have a little tiny bit of contact. It didn't look like anything really severe or malicious there.
So for those who are just joining in, you are watching the OOR Simrigs.com Sprint Series. This is a Split Green from the Asia Pacific region. Also, a big shout out to our sponsors at Simrigs.com for all your sim racing needs. And of course, our fantastic OOR Patreons receive a 5% off in-store discount. So if you are looking for some new sim racing equipment, go see the awesome people at Simrigs.com.
100%. Simrigs is definitely my place to go to for hardware for sim racing.
Agreed, I'm a very happy customer myself.
Okay, so this being round 2, and after round 1, the lead driver is John Sonicus, the car number 555. He's got a total of 112 points against Rialto Ristofani, car number 22 on 103 points, and Sean Jacobs, car number 25 on 101 points. We have Lewis Cugley, the AM driver, which we anticipate will be promoted to Pro-Am potentially. He's lead AM on 69 points. But if we go down to the Pro-Ams, we have Mike Donaldi, car number 61 on 48. Michael Valaquez, I did not note, he's Pro. Pete Viney, Pro-Am, car number 118 on 42 points. And Mode Siafik, Pro-Am, car number 7 on 36 points.
Qualifying is about to get underway. Ooh, is that a slight bit of cloud cover? Ooh, here we go. This is more like the Brands Hatch, I know.
It's looking like it's just going to be cloudy. I didn't see any rain forecast there, but it's going to make the tyre pressures a little bit different. And quickly, just to cover off the amps, Dion Scarman, car number 23, AM, 25 points. Mohammed Zikri, car 227, 24 points. And Rafael Chua, returning to the series, car number 39, 24 points. So that covers off our top 3 for all the series classifications.
Of course, it is quite a long season, this one. So we do have our 5 rounds initially. Then we do have our finals, which is very exciting.
Yes, I have to refresh my memory for the finals there. I'm going to lean on you here, Sean. What's the ruling for the finals as Hasnam is starting his qualifying lap in 2 corners?
Leaning on me, that's bold.
There's a lot of trust here.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm not even 100% cross it. I probably should, but I do know. I think I'm not even going to speculate. I know it's the top amount of certain drivers from each class. There you go.
And that's for the last 3 races as Dion Hasman begins his qualifying lap.
Very quick operator.
Looks like a bit of backing up happening too into the last corners. This is going to potentially impact Hasman as he comes around, being such a short lap.
That's what makes qualifying so difficult here as well. It's just because such a sort of circuit, track space is an absolute premium.
Oh, very much so. If you're a faster driver getting out of sequence or a slower driver getting out of sequence and holding some up in qualifying, it's going to be very tricky for the faster guy behind you to back up and make some more. As he takes that a little bit wide.
So digging down now up through Sheen.
How many laps do you think the drivers will be able to squeeze in?
Well, I was talking about this actually earlier before. Brands Hatch is one of those tracks that actually takes a good 3 to 4 laps for everything to come up to pressure and come up to temperature. So normally you find on your 3rd or 4th lap, you'll probably set your Hollywood number. And then you can decide as he pops in a 23.4 for his opening flyer. Then you got to decide, do you just go with one run of say 5 laps, or do you do maybe 3 or 4 laps, come in, and then go for another run? Being a 15-minute qualifying session, you definitely have time for 2 runs. It's just sort of traffic and how you want to play it.
Yeah, I saw Philippa in the previous race. She didn't really set her fast lap until right to the last second. I just noticed earlier, car number 7, Moed Zjefik, looked like he went off on a corner, so maybe he might need to re-pit and get new tyres. He's got time to rejoin safely and get a whole bunch of laps in.
Quite a lot of times come in now. Answer goes up the top with a 23.1. That's a fantastic lap in the Honda. But here is JP Sonikas. Have seen 22s from the big bad Aston. As Hasman goes quicker again with a 23.055. And there we go, a 22.7 for Jean-Pierre, straight to the top of the leaderboard.
Very quick lap that run. It's Philippa's qualifying lap in the last race. What did she get again?
It was a 22.5, top of my head.
That's the same as her race time.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Sean Jacobs out. Up to 5th, great, 4th, great lap from Sean there. With a 23.1, so very close in qualifying here. Here's Ventnor in that beautiful Lamborghini, one of my personal favourites. Caroline 11. Oh, that answer goes quick with a 22.6. That is a stonking lap. So we've got a 2-way fight here for pole position. Ali Rudin.
Sorry there, Sean. Just having a little bit of comms issues at my end. Apologies for that. I'm dropping in and out.
No problem at all. It's Kai Rudin. He's up on his times. He up to 3rd. Great lap in the Porsche.
These are some qualifying times to be very proud of. Sub-23s.
But yep, we have 3 drivers in the 22s at the moment. This field is stacked. As Hasman now, who's 0.2 up on his best lap. We can keep this going. This will pop him into the 22s as well. Wowee.
Who's the car in front? Is he holding him up? Is he on a fast lap and he can't pass him? It's going to be awkward. Yeah, he's backed up. And that is the risk of Brands Hatch qualifying, catching a faster car, catching a slower car. So he's taken the decision to abort, go to pits and try again. Yes, split green, split stacked.
Oh, and 22.507. Only answer has gone quicker again. Still got 8 minutes left to qualifying, and Vintner is 0.3 up on the lap at the moment.
Yes, I'd say we're expecting some extra qualifying time to drop down here with 8 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go. Some more times to come through, and I'm expecting, what are you expecting, at 22.4 potentially? Is that a number?
It could be a number, 22.4. Well, it's going to have to be a 22.4 to get pole. So, oh, and Ariane is making his Simrigs Sprint Series debut, if you don't mind.
Yep, I heard he downloaded the game about an hour ago, went out to Simrigs, bought some kit, and just jumped straight in.
That's how it's done.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Rumours are flying around the pit lane at the moment.
And that was Philly Matic, Hasman's teammate. He was in P14, looking for a clean run by the looks of it.
Quite sweet. Currently in 8th position at the moment. Nice, solid job. I feel quite bad to say that. Solid job in 8th position.
Oh, very well done.
Not a good lap here as well. 0.3 up, so this will definitely move him up the leaderboard.
So you got the potential to break into 22s.
Just missed out on the 22s, but it will be a very nice 23.
Does he have the slipstream? Can he get it across? Is it lower? Is it enough? It is. Oh, nice. Round 0-0. It's a stonking.
It's a great lap. What can Sonicus do? Has to find 0.243 here.
So John has some space in front of him. He's probably going to have a good run for potentially 2 fast laps by looks of it with the car in front.
Actually, he's found himself a nice bit of track here.
Also, is that Hasman coming through? I don't know the quarter name. In the gap behind him, 2 cars behind.
Looks like that is. Yep, you are right. So, with 5 minutes going, these drivers out. This will be their warm-up phase of their laps. They'll probably do 1 or 2, just get the eye in, and then probably on the 3rd and 4th lap is when they'll really drop the hammer.
Yes, get the pressures right and get the pressures even, bring the temperatures down at the being overcooking at the 1 or 2 corners, and like you said, Sean, just nail it.
She's currently in 17th. It's a little bit lower than I expected.
But a 1:24 flat for P17. It's a very good time still.
That pretty much sums up split green right there. That's a wild Merc off in the distance. I love that shot. One of the most iconic shots in motorsport, that one.
Makes the cars look extremely fast.
At the moment, currently in 5th. We did see he had to balk a really fast lap before, so this is now getting to clutch time.
Is there anyone leaving the pits that could potentially get in his way? Looks like there's only 1 car in pits at the moment.
Just a quick little bit of housekeeping. Car 164 will receive a 2-place grid penalty for impeding another driver. Oh, he's a little wide there, Hasman, but holds onto it. So easy to do that at Sheen.
by doing that, he's dropped some time. He's got to nail this last corner very well.
Stefani now on a good lap. As we speak about it all the time here at Brands Hatch, you've got to nail every single corner on this track. You miss one corner and pretty much there goes your lap. Slightly wide through Hawthorn. Great corner as well. Plunged down Dingledale, then into the Sheen, blind approach, clipped a little inside curve, but don't clip too much of it. You don't want to run it too wide out to that grass. Lost a little bit of time there. Now through Clearways into Clark. Again, another very tricky corner here through Clark. Very easy to lose the back end, run it out as wide as you like. Can Ristafani improve? He's only 0.1 up at the moment. Stays, goes fifth, so he goes past Hasman, and he's got time for what, at least two more flights. Got a little bit of traffic in front of him that he's going to have to negotiate. Back to his teammate Hasman now. So he's going to jump his teammate again. So these two are. Oh, he's actually got it to fourth.
I saw it, not only just his teammate, but fourth. He's also got some room. I saw he's got some gap there.
Here's Jacobs. He's up on his time as well. There we go. So to just give a bit of context for how quick this split is, our top 6 drivers are all in the 22s.
That's a stonking effort.
100% agree with you there, Mr. Bab. It is actually stupid how fast this split is. Here's Velasquez at the moment. So I was watching him actually during the day in the practice server, just watching to see how he's going about it. He's a very quick operator in this McLaren, of course, running the best race number in the world. And there you go. So he just popped in a 23.5, and that's 15th. Unbelievable pace in split green at the moment.
There's not many big gaps in the field. 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 cars have decent gaps. Everyone else is behind somebody. That's a bit close. So the last minute, it's going to be very tricky to get a good fast speed lap in if you're on.
Here's Sean Jacobs at the moment, though. He's on an absolute fly. He's 0.3 up. This will definitely move him up the leaderboard. How far up does he go? Up to second. Fantastic lap there from Jacobs. A 22.680. He's put the pressure on Sonicus now and Kai Rudin. What can JP do?
And it's got time to put another fast lap in as well. JP's up.
Point 2 up at the moment. He plunges down Pilgrim, drop up towards Hawthorn. Aston looks really planted through there. As John Sadikas, of course, I get him mixed up all the time. I've asked him for different liveries.
Well, 555 for John, that's all I remember now.
I always forget them. I always get the same numbers but mixed up. But anyway, back to the lap because this is 0.1 up. Oh, that was lovely. What a line that was. It lost a bit of time, but it was a beautiful line.
Wonder if he got balked by the car going off in front of him. Oh, he's gone wide. I can see the dirt come up.
Yep, and that's that lap done. So that'll be 9th position for John.
Wow, he was P2 at one stage, wasn't he?
Here's JP. That's that lap done. Oh, he's going to keep the foot in it though. He's going to keep trying. Only really needs to find 0.1, 0.2 for pole.
Right, number 44 is JP.
Thank you, Race Control. Appreciate it.
I had to look that up.
But that is qualifying a runner done in his Arianza on debut. Pops it on pole. Sean Jacobs there in second. JP Sonikas in third. Kai Rudin fourth. Hasman fifth. Sweet in sixth. Ristofani in seventh. Zuhali, our top Pro-Am driver, in eighth. John Sonikas there in ninth. And Velasquez there in 10th position, who must have put in a stonking lap there right towards the back end of qualifying. Then we have Fahad, Weatherburn, Vitna, Malik, Ratushi, Swazwan, Kugli, who's our top AM driver, McIllenus, Piper, and Ross are your top 20.
New penalty coming through. Car number 39, two-place grid penalty, ignoring blue flags. So who was that? 39. So I think John would be a bit disappointed with that qualifying there. He would have been expected to be in the top 5 for sure, but dropping down. 2 pit stops for tyres and potentially fuel. There's certainly time to make it back, but if he has a rough start, it's going to be very hard to get this race into his favour.
Hopefully the weather's not as bright as it was for Split Yellow, so definitely more overcast.
To my eye, it does look a bit brighter than what qualifying was. And our favourite AND driver, Cugley, P17.
I actually have some news on Cugley at the moment. Quick breaking news I'm happy to share. He's just joined up with the $1.50 Macca squad, so a little bit of self-indulgence there from yourself. But great to have him on board, and he definitely will not be an AM driver for very long.
It usually takes, 2 or 3 races to get a balance of their performance, and then an adjustment is created if needed. Is that correct?
That is correct, yep. I believe it's after the first 2 rounds, and then, yeah, the lot smarter people than I do crunch the numbers and reassign the classes for the rest of the season.
I don't think it'll be outright race pace, as in how fast your lap can be. It's how consistent you can be, the incidents you have, how close you can race with people. So if you're a very fast hot lapper, good qualifying does not necessarily make you a very good racer.
That's 100% correct.
But that being said, his last race was very good.
I'm very excited for this one. I mean,
Yeah, sorry, Sean. I'm going to have to ask you to call the start on this one again for me. But I can do the rundown for what's going to happen in the race. So it's a 60-minute race, 2 pit stops. The pit stops are mandatory for tyres, not fuel. Fuel is optional. Pit window opens after 5 minutes, and last pit stop has to be completed, I believe, not started, by 55 minutes. So there'll be multiple strategies. So you're going to go for a 20-20-20, a 30-15-15, 15-30-15, or hazard guess and pit at 5 and pit at 55. I think a late stop is probably the best advantage you'll have because I don't think you'll catch up to the back markers as fast. What are your thoughts, Sean?
Yep, we did see another pit stop strategy, also known as the Cranage, which was basically wait till 15 minutes to go and then fire out your 2 pit stops. I think, yeah, traffic dictates a lot of your strategy here.
Yeah, as we saw that with Philippa, which had and some other drivers, they had a little bit of a moment and got caught behind some slower cars and some other cars running long and holding up some of the fast guys that made their first pit stops. But racing for position, don't let them through, make them earn it.
If there is a track to make them earn it, this is the one.
Split Yellow had a very clean start. I think there was 1 contact with 2 cars going off at the very back of the circuit. Unfortunately for... I cannot remember the driver, sorry. Dean Marvel. Mr. Marvel had a moment. But lap 1 was very clear, no safety car. What are we going to call here for split code brown-green?
I'm going to sit on the fence again. That worked for Split Yellow, so I'm going to do it again for Split Green.
I was calling 5 cars off of turn 1 for a split yellow. I think this split's much faster and much more competitive, so I'm going to stick with the 5 cars off at turn 1.
There we go. So they'll be starting to line up now and double file.
As the gap been looking, the last race gaps at the front was a bit long, I thought. Let's see if these split green guys can keep it more compact.
Dare say the talent in this field, they'll get it all looking very nice. That looks very good. So it will be Adayansa who will take control of the field with Jacobs right beside Sanikas, Kyrud, Sweet, Hasman. They're your top 6 up front. This is going to be a fantastic race. It is round 2 of the OR Simrigs.com Sprint Series, split green for the Asia Pacific region from Brands Hatch. 60-minute race, 2 mandatory pit stops. We've got a debut driver on pole, and then we are green flag racing as I head off now down towards Paddock Hill Bill. It's really important here to make sure you're not 3 or 4 wide. Is that Jacobs just getting in the back there? Looks like it. Oh, now up now towards Druids. This is where normally we see a bit of trouble with the whole concertina effect. Everyone very well behaved here in split green, so now it's just about settling in position. Looks like Hasman and Ristofani have got off to a great start. Kai Rudin looks like trying to go for the move up the inside here. He's going to get that done. He does. Great move. Oh, that's a bold move into Hawthorn. That's it runs a little wide though. That's going to back him up, and Sweet's going to fire it straight up the inside. Nice move there from Sweet. At Westfield now up towards down Diggle Dow, up towards Sheen. That is that a Sonic? Is that an issue there? Oh, he's trying to go took too much curve there on the inside. Zuhali has gone off as Sheen. Very easy to do. We've got another car off there as well. That is Viney. Charles Clark now. Faster. So that is lap 1 in the books. We've had no safety cars, so now it's just to settle down a little bit. Just get into a rhythm. Find your spot on the track.
And from what I could see, there was no contact at the back. All cars made it through on lap 1 with just some minor offs happening. I'm not sure if they were self-inflicted or not.
Here's our top 3 at the moment. So it is Adianso, Jacobs, Sonikas, Hasman and Kai Rudin. So they've all got through lap 1 cleanly. Now it's about to see who's got the pace and who's got what.
I think John Sonicus had the best start there. He's made 2 positions.
He has had a good start. He did. Positive that was him. It looked like it went a little wide there at Sheen. He took too much curve there at Sheen. That was quite an aggressive line. Well, Stefiano Ratucci at the moment, currently catching Malik. This is for 13th and 14th.
I think Malik's also had a very good start as well, hasn't he?
Great start.
Well, we have some contact at the back. Looks like 3 cars were involved.
Definitely Sheen things. Thomas McClass at the moment for BD Motorsport, trying to move there up the inside of Benjamin Piper. Now that's part 1 done. You've got to get part 2 done now. It's so hard at Druids. Try and get up the inside of Druids. Always then puts you in a really tough spot for Graham Hill.
Yes, and the following 2 corners have been very car breakers there. People have gone off, pushing extremely hard and sliding out. So at the moment, it doesn't look like anybody's pitted for any car damage, so that's really good news for the drivers out there. To keep the gap starting to spread out at the back, but I'd say that would be for some of the contact that's happened on lap 1 and lap 2.
Christopher at the moment. Currently there in 7th, chasing Sweet. Oh, look at this train.
Yes, it's the Jacobs train.
Jean-Pierre Sonegas has the fastest lap of a 22.9 race lap, if you do not mind.
There's a very good race pace at this time of the race. Only 2 laps in, starting on 3. It's just shortly the pit window will open, so no one can actually pit at the moment. But this next lap, the pit window will be open, and first pit stops could potentially happen.
Benjamin Pivot's trying to make a move here. Ramachushi, they're going to go side by side through Graham Hill. This is what great driving this is. Now off towards Surtees.
Is that Cuddly having a look?
Cuddly's having a look. As Piper's going to go around the outside of Surtees. Oh, that is a great move. Oh, who's that off? That's Sonic Jean-Pierre is off.
Oh,
that is
no.
a big moment.
That was from P. He must have been having a move on Jacobs because he was very close behind him just before.
So he was in P3, so that is a huge moment in the race. One of our early race favourites is off. Oh, that's never going to work there. Oh dear.
Have they made it through?
No.
Well, the first penalties are coming through. Farhad has got his 15 seconds. Let's see what the John Sonicus moment was all about. No, the JP Sonicus.
15-second penalty, that's a big one.
Yeah, so early. I didn't see any. I wonder what contact that was for. Nothing's come through on the chat yet.
Look at this train. What a fantastic battle this is. So we've got McLinnis, Cugley, Clark, Viney, Ross. They're all there, all wanting to have a go. Pretty much throw a blanket over this whole, actually right up to 11th position. Oh, look at the move up ahead there. It looks like that was Malik who was doing the old left and right into Hawthorn, which is quite bold. Really tricky spot to pass. That's Kilby. Number 6 pops a drive-through for dangerous driving.
Is that the move that we saw with that red and orange car? Mercedes, I believe they were. Oh, Daffa, 1 minute 22.6, 1/10 of Philip's fastest time in the previous race. He has got some big pace there.
As you can see on actual track map at the moment, there is 3 distinct groups starting to break out now. Certainly going to make. We've got a replay here. So this is Sonicus and Jacob. So this will tell us the story. Both too wide there through Surtees. Everything looks good here. Oh, so there was side-by-side contact, and that's actually spun out the BMW as well.
That was Malik or Hazman?
That was Hasman. Yeah, has spun him around. Good recovery, but
Yes, facing the right way, but it looks like he's losing more positions there. So how do you call that? Racing incident?
oh, that's a tricky one. And they were side by side through there. There was room through the mid part of the corner, just on the exit. So I'm going to handball that one to the stewards. I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, isn't that where that bump is in that corner? Is it the bump
Yeah.
before or after? Yeah, because he could have got a little bit sideways with the traction control, because it looked like he had a bit of a moment, a little twitch, a little bit of skid marks on the road back there, and it didn't look like he wanted to go there, but it looks like his car went there without him really wanting to. Turn 1's going to be very interesting if that's short group there.
But the battle for the second and third is still on here between Kai Rudin and Jacob. Sweet's there as well, so this will go on all race. Who's going to be the first to blink though, to jump in to the pits?
Certainly open, 10 minutes in. I don't think it's too early. Anyone from P12 down to P 20. So close, it's worth a shot to go into the pits. And Ross has taken the bait, and he's gone in first.
When will we see someone try a really bold out there strategy to try and get a bit of track position? Or that's what I love about I really enjoy these 2 mandatory pit stops. It just changes things up a little bit.
Yes, I agree. If you're a bit slower, you can hold them up. If you're a bit faster, you go early, but then you get held up. It's just a strategy chess game here. Comments from Peach in the chat. He said he had no space left and he was on the curb and didn't have much room to go.
It does tighten up that curb as well, sort of. Yeah, the corner, it's such a tricky corner as well, so it is. As you come around it, yeah, that it tightens actually on exit, so a little bit. And yeah, the bumps on the outside of that curb are nasty. Back,
Go.
I was going to say, yeah, back to this battle, because this is raging on at the moment. It's been a fantastic fight.
Well, yeah, I've been watching it. Piper has dropped the second away from Zayed Vic. Sorry if I butchered your name there, mate. Don't mean to. And that's a Constantine, not the rest of the cars behind him.
Cogley made a move there on Malik. Threw it up the inside.
Looks like
Yeah.
it's there.
He's not going to try and go on the outside of Hawthorne. That is
Oh,
bold.
He's trying. He looks like he's getting up in Richie. He's having a look as well.
There we go. Once again, that Brands Hatch adage, once you're offline, it is so easy to lose positions.
It's almost not worth trying to make a move sometimes, or if you, well, in this case, the move was done on you, so you got pushed forward like that. It's not like you had an attack move and it didn't work out, so you go back online to keep racing again and then lose the positions.
There we go, Sean Jacobs, 15-second penalty for that collision. So, race control have spoken.
And in this case, rubbing is not racing. Oh,
Oh,
car on the dirt.
Yep, someone off of Paddock Hill. Oh, Malik runs very wide. McClinnis now tries to run up the inside, but just makes a bit of a boot there on the exit.
Like running right through there allows you to get the power down early, and you had the good drive out of that corner.
Oh, McClinnis really deep in the... That might be actually just his line. It is actually one of those corners, there is a couple of schools of thought. You can run it really deep into the corner, or you can actually just break it a little bit wider and then turn a bit of a later turn in.
Very brave to do that when the racing's so tight. Just like to draw some attention to the AM races, the real AMs, I like to call them, the T21, 22, 23, is Zikri, Miller and Scarman racing very closely together. The gaps fluctuating between less than a second and just over 1 second.
As McClinnis had a Sheen moment. So there's a couple of spots there, but it's a fantastic fellow up front as well. So Ristofani's back involved here. Right on the back of Sweet Kai Ruden's there. So some real heavy hitters here.
Looks like a car 34 on a Honda. Sorry, I can't read your name very well. Is looks like he's stretching out his lead here. And with the 15-second penalty to Jacobs, he's going to be stretching it a bit more. But from P's 2, 3, 4, and 5, it looks like very tight.
I'm just looking at their lap times as well. There is nothing between them. 23.6, 23.7, 23.7. The actual fastest on the track out of this group at the moment was Ristofani. Oh,
Come on, yeah.
He is all over the back of Sweet here. As Kai Ruden goes wide there at Sheen, they're going to go too wide. That's never going to work. That was never going to work.
Oh, he's sideways on the track there. Can he get out of the way? Yes, he has.
Too wide into Sterling's very rarely works out well for both drivers. It's such a tricky part of... a couple of drivers were wide. So Sweet's in a really tricky spot here.
they going to slow down for some yellows there, or are they going to keep pushing hard? And Zikri having a move on Hermato Pro-Am as he pits.
He's having a great drive at the moment, and the big bad Bentley as well, so hats off.
Kairuden's pitted, and so is Sweet, so obviously he took some damage on that.
Duffer Adrianza. I will get that pronunciation right by the next round, 100%. As Scarman picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane on lap 1. Ouch.
Pit lane on lap 1? I didn't see anyone go in the pits on lap 1. What, did he have a pit lane start?
Got a replay coming up for this moment here.
Oh, it looks very tight. A little bit of wheel on the dirt there. And, yeah. Oh, tough call. Could have given a bit more room, but here at the moment, who knows? I'm not saying.
Scott Hall, 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane on that one as well.
I think it's for entering the pits or exiting the pits.
I reckon 9 times out of 10 it's entry.
I must admit, I have not practiced my pit entries, so watch me tomorrow, man. I am going to be very slow.
I actually spent 20 minutes, was it yesterday, just doing pit entries.
Oh, okay,
There we go. A 15-second penalty for that one.
Some of the front runners are getting some big penalties handing down.
What that has done is John Sinikis has just worked his way nicely up to 4th position here.
Has anyone in the top 5 actually made a race pit stop rather than a forced pit stop?
So by the looks of here, no one's really blinked. Kairuden is actually first on track that has made a pit stop. So they're all running quite long here.
What's their race pace at the moment?
Race pace currently at the moment we're looking at 23.2, 23.6, 23.4, 23.5, 23.7. So they're all in that sort of mid 23 market. As we just got confirmation for those incidents for speeding on lap 1 for actually speeding at the race start. Lady Malik comes in, taking his first compulsory service.
Wheels the BMW that got turned around. He's going to repair his damage. He's going to keep pushing forward. It's not a fast speed track here, so the aero damage is there slight. I would probably carry with the first service.
Yeah, look, if you're in a car like the BMW or, GTR, for example, or something that can carry a bit of damage, yeah, 100%. Truck on. Even something like a Lamborghini or a McLaren, yeah, you're repairing that damage.
Zikri was the first AM to pit. It's got a nice 10-second gap between him and the car in front. So if he can stretch his legs out, he's going to maintain his gap on Miller. Scarman has a 10-second penalty, so he's going to be out of the race for him. And I must say, the Pro-Ams, I'm a bit uncertain of who's pitted and who hasn't. Number 7, I believe, is pitted, and...
Yep, so Malik and the 7 have pitted, but Withers Zuali as Benjamin Piper comes in for his service, the Homobile esports entry. And Sweeter has come out in 26th position, so he's going to have to get the head down, plenty of work to do.
Looking like this is the closest racing we got on the circuit at the moment. The gaps are all starting to spread out with the pit stops being executed.
Lewis Cugley, who is working on the back of Ratucci here, who is in the top 10 again. It's been some debut for this driver. His last round, of course, at Paul Ricard, got to pop it on pole, and he's continued that form on, so it's definitely not a flash in the pan.
Probably not. Two different driving techniques required to be fast around here. And Paul Ricard has managed to master both.
That car off just up ahead of him. I just see that telltale sign of dust.
So, by my reckoning, about a third of the cars have pitted before a third of the races. Pretty good. So the early stoppers are stopping earlier. Which makes a lot of sense, doesn't
I
it?
was about to say, and the later stoppers are stopping later.
I was expecting the early stoppers to either be very early or closer to the 40 minute. And here's the, 5 cars pitting on the 40-minute mark. So they'll probably be the drivers that are split at 20-20-20.
No one in our top 10 has blinked yet.
Unless, of course, they pitted it already down the list. I think Malik was one of those cars.
Kyra Rudin still is our top car that has done well stop. It comes out of the pits now.
That looked very challenging there. It's almost as bad as the Paul Ricard pit exit. Cars driving past you at pace. At least in this case, the cars are actually braking and the speed differential as you exit a pit, and the cars going through turn 1 is pretty close, unlike Paul Ricard where they're at full pace.
It's more the timing here. If you just come out that little bit at the wrong time, then that's where it gets a bit dicey.
So the field's bunching up again. Half the circuit's nearly in.
Just really applying the pressure here on Jacobs, trying to force an error.
He's so close he can't see his markers, and he's going off circuit a little bit. He's pushing very, very hard, like you said there, Sean.
This is where I'd be coming in now. If this was me, I'd be coming in right now.
Maybe Ristofani or Jacobs?
Yep, Ristofani. Oh, look at that.
Oh, what a call.
Oh.
Oh, did he hit the wall?
Snakes is in as well. I like that call, actually. I really do like that call. Cugley in 9th. Does Cugley come in? He does. Oh, saw Ratucci coming in, who made a very late entry. They got away with it.
Yes, it's not really a pit entry where you can actually race the car into the pits and overtake them on the line, as you can at Watkins Glen. It's a very one car away. I was going to say, it's a good call you said with Ristofani taking the pit because Jacobs in front of him also had a 15-second pit stop penalty. So going in early, he'll definitely be out in front of him. But it depends how he comes back out in traffic.
Here is our leader at the moment, though, who's 9 seconds to the good of Jacobs. Has driven a fantastic debut race.
I think he's put 3 seconds on him in the last 10 minutes.
I've just got an update that John has a new puppy and he's trying to snag a podium and herd his kids into making sure the puppy is okay while driving. Now that is multitasking 101 right there.
My mind's getting confused with all the actions you need to do. I'll probably be flashing my headlights for some reason.
Oh, I just couldn't race straight up.
We should actually get a feed into John so he can commentate his race at the same time. Just for that extra pressure.
Exactly. Here's this battle between Malik and Piper at the moment. So this has been going on for a little while now. I don't see many GTRs that are strong around Brands Hatch, but it is nice to see one up there in the hands of a very competent operator as well in Benjamin Piper. Oh, it was a few ran wide there at Hawthorn.
I think it was a blue flag moment because he let some cars through early and he was on the marbles, so going around the next corner at high pace, it's not going to have as much grip. That being said, sixth place is the last of the 2 stoppers to go in, and the cars and 4 more in front.
So our leader's going actually very long. Oh, as Malik goes very well. Oh, so easy to catch a little bit of sand there, and it'll spit you around quickly and say, where did that come from?
Doesn't spit you around, or it'll drag you into the wall.
Yep.
I experienced it once or twice.
It's Pete Viney, currently in 15th. Chris Withers.
How many cars we got running on the circuit tonight? We got 32? Is that the right number?
Just looking into that now for you.
And comment from the super coach. What type of breed is the Labrador is what we're told. Or the dog's in a lab, or the dog came from a lab. I'm not sure which.
Back to your question. 34 runners we have on track at the moment.
It's a lot of cars. Man's in for his second pit stop. Thank you, Gorilla Snapper.
Oh, Viney, oh, that would have been a moment there. Sorry to interrupt. Viney would have had a heart in the mouth moment there. As Clark lost it there at Sheen and Viney was coming around. Very lucky not to. That could have been a lot worse.
I respectfully call a replay on that because I wasn't watching. I was looking at chat. Especially an in-car one, that'd be very exciting.
Well, for us it'd be exciting. I'm not sure Pete Viney would find that exciting. As our leader does take his first service.
Which means Jacobs is still leading the race for 15-second time penalty.
Here we go. We are on board here. So this is always known as the Sheen moment. Oh, it gets right out sideways. Car control. Great car control. Oh, that was fantastic.
That was good. Oh, from behind, here we go. This is how you close a gap, people.
Oh.
It was the second correction that really got me going there.
It's so easy to do in these GT3 cars. That second correction, if you don't get it right, it'll fire you straight into the fence.
Oh, yes. I may have mentioned it earlier, but when people are asking, how do you know when you start getting good at sim racing? It's when you can save a car.
So we've just got 2 drivers now remaining, but also to take their first stop. So it is Jacobs and Velasquez.
And after the stops, Ristofani's going to have about a 6-second gap behind Daffa.
Sort of have spread out a little bit there between our sort of top 5, 6. Tricky part, and you got to start thinking, doing maths in your head, and also looking at that track map while you're driving, trying to just work out where you're going to pop out in traffic. Malik and Piper are still going toe-to-toe with each other.
Looking down the list here, looks like cars are in pairs. There's quite a few pairs of close driving.
Which I think is one of the hardest things to do on ACC, definitely, is following a car around Brands Hatch. You always want to, I've always found that I've drove better myself when I'm just in a little bit of clear air, so I can just concentrate a little bit, as Scarman picks up a 15-second penalty causing collision on lap 18.
It's blowing his AM champion and potential AM podium tonight. It's his second penalty. Yeah, so not only driving so close behind, also you've got the netcode issue. So our leader and Bella is having a slight pain. So it's stable, all good. Should be able to be quite predictable, but it's a bit wobbly. It's going to be really hard. So if you've seen the cars go down the straight, especially for a car, you see them rubber banding. So when you go to get a really close slipstream, you get the timing wrong.
Esports chasing Victor. Oh, look at that. McLaren is really good through Sheen.
So coming up to halfway through the Simrigs Sprint Series round 2 at Brands Hatch, we still have 2 drivers and needing to take their first pit stops.
They're actually running longer than even I thought. I thought they'd be in sort of that 35-minute mark, but they're really pushing it out here.
It's a spread I would consider a 30-15-15, but it's gone a bit more than 30, so yes. Oh, he's gone deep in the corner. He's going to pick up some bubbles there. It's going to be tricky on the next right-hander. Let's watch him here. Can he take the right-hander?
So Jacobs has come in. He's blinked first. So it is Velasquez that is now the only one out on track that has not taken a pit stop yet.
Okay, taking some bets. When's he going to pit? Jacobs and Daffa.
Oh,
No, we're looking at Malik and Piper.
well, his race pace is very good. He just popped in a 23.7 for his last lap, so he's not exactly bleeding time. So back to this battle. Oh, Piper's ran wide as she.
That's a Tokyo drift there. It's kept it well. I've been dying to say that all night.
Such an easy place to do it.
Oh, 100%. Let's see where Jacobs comes out at. With his 15-second penalty, it's going to be very hard to tell.
One of my absolute favourites liveries and cars on the track. I love this livery. It looks magnificent. And he's actually having a great run tonight as well, Miller.
Yes, he's I've driven against him a couple of times in the other Sprint Series. A very competent racer. It looked like Kilby was the first driver to take the second pit stop, but he's 4 laps down, so it could have been potential incident damage and having to teleport the pits to take repairs. So Jacobs with his 15-second time penalty has dumped him out of P8, half a second behind Weatherburn. Jacobs coming in for his second pit stop.
Oh, so that's an interesting one as well. I like that strategy as well. Just trying to get him all over and done with.
Depends on the gaps he's had where he feeds out into. Kyrun, I think, had another 15 seconds there, so he's going to get a position back from there.
It does depend on what the other drivers do in terms of battles. If they get into a battle and start fighting with each other, that's going to slow them up a little bit as well.
And of course, if you come out behind a slower car, there is no requirement for that slower car, if you're racing for position, to let you through.
No, sweet right behind him. In the old, I'm coming through. I am quick, but of course with Clemens, as Damiano just said, no need to let him pass at all. And it's very easy to do a Brands Hatch. He's got to place the car literally on the racing line, and it's pretty much impossible to get past.
So all I can say is, don't flash your lights. Could cost you a win.
Oh!
Ding. Which I raised the question earlier in chat. So if you flash your lights accidentally and say, sorry, that was accidental, stewards may not take your comments as truth, so don't flash accidentally.
So Farhad there's got a 15-second penalty for a collision.
Has Farhad taken his second stop? I don't think so.
No, so that'll be served. I was about to say the same thing there, Steve. We've had nearly 2 hours of racing here in England and not a drop of water anywhere. Now, that happened last week as well, and then Split Blue got absolutely drenched. So, fingers crossed that doesn't happen, but you never know.
Beef with that. I just want to point out, I have never had a single race with OOR at Paul Ricard where it's been dry the whole race. Every race I've been at has been mixed weather, and it's been 6 races in a row. Not that I'm grumpy or dirty about that, I'm just making an observation. So I'm expecting tomorrow to be rain for us.
Yeah, look, I've kind of accepted the fact that it'll be rain.
What should do? I'll change splits and we'll see if it follows me around or not.
So Velasquez is still going around. So he's just dropped in a 24.3. That was his last race lap. He's going to probably get into the time now where I really start thinking about coming in for your first stop.
I don't know. With that pace that he's got, do you think he's going to do 3 laps from the end, pit, finish?
Could we try the bender strat, or the major bender strat, or the Kranich strat that we saw earlier in race? Because he's getting to that point.
I'm going to have to call it something else. It's going to be some mega bender alternate new super duper strat. Especially if he wins.
If he wins, well, yes. Then it will go down in the history books.
It's like love. It's conditional. Speaking of which, everyone had a good Valentine's night last night?
Oh, was that yesterday?
Yeah. Apparently it happened.
As I call it, National Roses and Cards Day.
I call it National Don't Yell at Each Other Day. No, my wife's lovely. Yeah, we just spent, we end up, what we do is we just make sure we have a quiet dinner together with the family if the child is with us, and treat each other extra kind.
I'm a single man, so I had kebabs.
Love a kebab. Especially if the extra sauce that dribbles down the bottom makes the, do you have yours with chili?
Chili and garlic sauce, yes.
With the extra spice at the bottom to finish it off. Speaking of no rain, so the sky's cleared up, so the tide temperatures of some of these guys would have changed. So going from from cloudy to cloud, no cloud, from more cloud to less cloud. Does that change your tide temperature?
Not really. It depends on the track temp. So if it does raise up, say, if it goes up a degree or two, not noticeable. If it goes up all of a sudden 3 or 4 degrees, then yeah, it's definitely, oh, we've got a car off there just ahead. Watch the rejoin.
Oh, that looked like a good rejoin.
Looked
Gave some
very good.
space. Accept your fate. Just flags like that. And...
Oh, there it is.
That was that's what I reckon happened to Hobbs. I reckon he did that.
Yeah, I'm feeling that as well. And it's always a stinger as well, because you come in, you've had such a great stint, you've got no damage, you're thinking, yes, this has been amazing, and then that slight switch off on the entry, and there you go, have 5 seconds, have 10 seconds of damage.
And if your pit box is really close, are you going to be fast enough to disable the damage if you choose it? Plus, you've got to assess how much damage you've got.
Yeah, exactly. Well, being a McLaren, probably about 15 seconds.
Barhead and McKinn's and Bartlett are all pitting. So Barhead had an extra 15 seconds, so that's going to push him down the list a little bit more than what you would have expected.
Viney and Clark still going at it here. They've had a... Oh, here we go. Oh, this is going to be a great angle. Ouch.
Wasn't even side on. Oof.
Oh, yeah. He is racing. Jacob Witherburn. Haven't really called his name much actually at all race, so that's always a good sign. He's completed all his mandatory pit stops as well. And he's got Chris Withers just in front of him. He looks like he's holding him up a little bit. But he's had a very quiet race.
And once he clears Withers, either by pit stop or by manoeuvre, he's not that far behind Jacobs. Looks like he's laying up for a move here. Sees the board in, is he going to try and go again for a turn one? Looks like he's dropped back a little too far.
Probably hoping just Withers is thinking about coming in the next lap or two.
I've just noticed and Cugley is in 11th, whereas Zikri is actually slid up to P9. Obviously, I'm over there.
That's the last pit stop. That's a great drive. Both of them. They will, of course, drop back down once they stop, but well done to our 2 AM drivers.
At the moment, it's not much red here, or any penalties, time being given.
Really starting to work on the back of Withers here now. Just trying to just do that classic Brands thing, just force the little error, find a little chink in the armour.
And what do you do here? Do you wait for the pit stop or do you make a move? Looks like he's going for a move. It's going to be brave on the outside.
Very brave on the outside. Very rarely see this work.
Well, he's sticking with it. He goes down a little bit lower. Yeah, you go. Get that inside the line. Get it closer. But give him plenty of room under
There we
brake.
go. He's going to set him up for the classic move at Druids. Withers just covers it off nicely. This is actually starting to hurt Weatherburn a little bit now.
P2 AM's in his pit stop. Hazman in P4 is making his second stop, with Bellicler still on 2 stops to do.
Side by side down Pilgrim's drop up towards Hawthorne.
Weatherburn's got to look after his tyres because it's going to make him last an extra few more minutes. But this time is costing him for his chance to get to GA.
it is. That's the pressure. Full Sierra.
Yes, forced him into a slide going through the corner. Is he going to do the pit or keep going? He's staying out.
Back with our leader, Velasquez, who still has not come in, and it's 15 minutes to go.
Ben, someone sent him a text to let him know he needs to pit this race.
I think your call there of maybe saving it to the absolute extreme last minute might come to fruition here.
I've been calling everything wrong. First lap was exceedingly clean, both races, so I'm very unhappy about this. My commentator curse is not working.
This actually has been a very clean split as well. Even race control's getting a little nervous now.
Tel has sent the message to Velasquez just to grab his attention. Look at the pit board. I don't know about the big brain there strategy, Steve Lewis. He's got to pit twice. So that's certainly going to push him down. But I don't know the gap to P2 though, and double stop is definitely going to be costly.
So the gap at the moment is 24.3 seconds between 1 and 2. So he'll definitely lose 2. Oh, massive moment there between T-Mac. I didn't see, is that Hamato? We just caught that right at the end. That's a big moment.
Yes, I think both those cars came out of the pits together on cold tyres, going down the inside to have a quick look, and turned in and lost control.
Wow.
It's a bit unfortunate. It's going to be a very costly mistake, that one. It's going to be some extra time given. Zikri also on a big brain strat, on the bender strat. P5 with 1 stop to go. I reckon you'll probably finish top 10, Zikri, if he keeps racing well. Does anyone know his pace at the moment as compared to those around in P10? There you go. That's some hard work.
Yep, so Zikri's last lap there was a 125.1. And for example, driver there in P11 is a 124.7, so he's about 0.4 off pace-wise, but still.
It's going to be tight. Could be on. You'll have new tyres, so might be able to bash out some quality. Because when he pits, anyone who's pitting now definitely going to be going for pure qualifying runs. Low fuel, new tyres, or extra tyres if you're Velasquez and you do an extra stop.
John Sonega's had a really good race, actually. He's just quietly plugged away at it. And it depends how all these pit stops play out. He could be on for a podium here.
There we go. I see the time. Ristofani, 67 seconds. Behind him is Hasnan.
Doing all this while on puppy duty, so fair play. As Ristofani does come into the pits now, so
I think in the double pit stop of Velasquez actually might net him 3rd place.
Tell you what, it's getting really tight though to get these 2 pit stops done.
So what do we got? What time's that? 11 minutes 30 left. What's that? 1:20 per lap. I need some paper.
But remember, you've got to do it 5 minutes before the end as well. So
He's got 6 minutes to do a collision for Mickens, number 63, for lap 31.
that was pretty slam dunk, that one.
Yeah, back in 22nd. So yeah, so you're correct. So he's got 6 minutes to do 2 pit stops. Yeah, pit stops about 2 minutes for a lap, at least on the out. So sure on the in. He needs to pit this lap, next lap for a double pit stop. He's doing the double pit stop, guys.
Yep, it's happening.
Zikri's pitted. He's 15th, 16th. Okay, there goes my top 10.
This Kobe has dropped down to 21st, so I'm not sure if he had a moment mid-race that we might have missed, or...
I noticed him probably about 40 minutes to go. Oh, sorry, about half distance. He lost a lot of positions. Obviously, he had them gone off. Zikri's gained a spot back on Bartlett. So that's moved.
Oh, here we go. Velasquez, he's found the pit lane entry.
It's going to be really, really tight if you can get this done. Is the pit timer on the entry or the exit? I think it's the entry.
It is the entry, yeah.
Okay, I think you'll make it by about 1 minute, which is less than 1 lap. Also, Daffer needs to make his second stop.
He does, so he's getting very tight as well with 4 minutes 30 in the pit window left, so...
Wonder if next time round anyone's going to do the early double stop.
Yeah, we could see something like that as well. I mean, I don't know though, running 50 odd 45 minutes on a set of tyres around Brands Hatch doesn't exactly fill me full of excitement.
And it's an enduro.
I'd still love a Brands Hatch Enduro, 100%.
It's going to be called Blue Flag Paradise.
Well, of course, we're at the moment working on the back of Malik, who is our top Pro-Am driver at the moment, in the top 10. So, great drive.
Excellent drive from Malik.
Our leader's in.
Daffer's in. I think Daffer's going to be, if he gets out for Stefani, which I think he will, then he'll be our certain winner.
There we go. You called it. You got it right. Velasquez went the pit.
No, there's a bit of time left still. He could have stayed out. It's very interesting if he maintains third or not. So Daffer's pit's completed. Just need for him the timing to catch up. He's going to definitely be our leader.
He's rolling, so he's down to 5th.
Is that a long stop? Because Hasnam and John has actually got past him as well. And leading into the first corner, he should maintain 5th. So my call of third was wrong. And he still had 2 minutes to do, so he could have gone 1 lap longer for his double pit stop. But those pit stops were consecutive, weren't they?
They were, yep.
I think he's just playing it safe there. If he had spun off or had some contact, he would have been caught out for sure. So discretion, the better part of valor. Interesting double pit stop strategy.
It's nice to see something different. So up to 5th though, so it has worked out for him. Still a good result.
And John's also done very well, going to P4 from P10 start. It's not all over yet. There's still plenty of laps to go.
Working on the back of Malik here. Malik runs a little wide, quite wide. Sweet will go sweet. And takes the position, so that moves him now into the top 10.
So Malik's going to be trying to line him up for an overtake, because it looks like he needed the position there. He's going to try and chase him down. He's got about 4 laps to do it. Let's see if he can maintain his pace and get through.
So 5 minutes 50 remaining and all our stops cleared. It is Adrianza on debut in the lead. Ristofani in second. Third is Hasman Sneakers of the John variety in fourth. Velasquez in fifth. Jacobs in sixth. Ritucci there in seventh. Weatherburn in eighth. Ninth is Kai Rudin, and 10 is Corey Sweet. And 11th, who we're on board with at the moment, is Fadi Malik, who is our current Pro-Am leader as well. And in the Am class, it is Zerki from Kugle from Chua.
It's a good race by from Rafael Chua. He was outside the top 30 at one stage, driving very well, very consistent. He's even got room. There's some penalties in front of him, so he might even slide up a couple extra positions overall. But definitely third and Am.
Well, Pete Viney, who's right behind Benjamin Piper here. In a beautiful tic-tac BMW. Big fan.
Looked good last week, looked good this week. I was wondering with the availability of changing your liveries every round if you change flavours. Little twitch there as the exit.
What? That's a good idea. Orange Tic Tacs, that's where it's at.
What about the mixed fruit?
No, it's got to be orange. Orange Tic Tacs, easily the goat tier of Tic Tacs.
Is he going to get a run at him for turn one? That looks like a no. But attacking a druid. Oh, Sean.
Here we go. He's got it done too. Viney with a beautiful move. Love that move. That is the classic Brands Hatch Druids move.
And keep pulling through the next corner where there's been some action there in previous races.
And the whole key to setting that move up is you just try the undercut there of Paddock Hill. You set them up, you just get them in a position where they've got to go a little wide. Then you just place the car on the inside, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to outbrake them into the Druid to get it done. That was a great move from Viney.
So, looking at P1, P2, the gap is stabilised at around about 6 seconds. Oh!
Tell you what, Charles Clark has had some moments in this race.
You cannot call it a boring race for Charles, can you? No.
Oh, there we go.
Oh!
Oh dear. Is that our race leader? It is. It's our race leader. Oh, massive driver late in this race. 2 minutes 40 to go. Huge damage.
Is he going to keep going? Is he going to box? I'd keep going.
Keep going. He's going to have to truck on here, but that gap's going to come down all the time. Oh dear, he's going to come in. He can't drive it. Oh dear, oh dear. Absolute drama.
Oh no.
Oh, that is gut-wrenching.
Well, Ben Piper, I'm not sure if he held the brakes or not, but he came back on the circuit a little bit too easily. The car was certainly well out of control, and he had no control over it. Unfortunately, the leader plowed into him.
Definitely need to see a replay break all that down. There was a lot going on there.
That is probably going to pit to the end of the race. There's going to be a lot of damage there.
What that has done, though, is Ristofani all of a sudden.
And Hasnam, his teammate.
And I did say it about 10 minutes ago that John Sadikas could be on for a podium, and he's in a podium position. Wow. Talk about this race has been turned on its head in the last 2 minutes. Brands Hatch, you never fail to disappoint.
And wasn't it Ristofani from last round got a penalty on the last lap?
That is correct, yep.
But this split is split chaos. Every week it's getting a new name.
Ristafani now will be driving on edge, just going, yep, I'm not even going to bother using the whole track there or there or there.
Daffer's still in the pit, sliding down the list. He's P19.
Yeah. So, Piper's in front here. We're on board with Charles Clark here. So, they've come up through Sheen. Piper's pretty good. Clark's just lost the car, lost the back end. He's come back on the track. Oh dear. Oh, dear.
That's less good. And even the spin turn by Daffer wasn't exactly great as well.
Oh, no.
Did he try to avoid him? It didn't look like
He
it.
did, but... Her brakes being held. It's going to be hard from that.
It didn't look like Daffer tried to slow down. It looked like Daffer was trying to go in at full pace. You would have seen the spinning car. And he's got a 5-second, 6-second lead, so you can give timeouts. We've 2 minutes to go. Anyhow, call it for Ristafani for the finish.
Ristafani, though, payback from the last round. He's going to be excited about this one. He takes the win in split green for round 2 at Brands Hatch. He'll be stoked with that. His teammate, Demo Hasman, so MRGP go 1-2 on the podium.
Great job by that team.
Fantastic drive. And third position for John Sneakers for Kovacs Racing with a puppy as well. Get around him. I reckon he'll be happy as Larry about that one. Great drive.
I'd take a podium every day. That is an excellent job by all those drivers. They all had penalties too.
And Velasquez, though, my driver of the day, just because of the big brain strat.
I'd take that. P4, not too far outside. Jacobs coming through in P5. Good job. Held it out. Ricciuti coming through P6. And Weatherburn P7. Kairuden's not too far behind in P8.
P9, Kyruden, great drive from Kyruden. Oh, 9, yeah, because of the penalty. Oh, yep, so that's all ACC leaderboard. Confusing me as always. Malik will be in the top 10, our top Pro-Am. Vittner in 11, Viney in 12. Great drive by Pete Viney. He's had a really action-packed race. Always been behind someone. Piper there in 13th. Fard in 14th. Zuhali will be 5th. Congratulations does go to Zerky as well, our top AM driver.
Yes, Zerky and Cuddly, 15th, 16th, I believe it was. A great drive there from the AM guys. They started a little bit further down the list and brought it through. Let's go to the post-race scheduling, timetables, finishing, results, pages, things with numbers and words.
The stuff.
Yes, that was a very exciting race. Again, controversy, finishing, split green.
Just seen there, Benjamin Piper trying to do... Here's our race results. So, overall, Ristafani from Hasman, John Sneakers in 3rd, Velasquez in 4th, Jacobs in 5th, Ricciuti there in 6th, Weatherburn in 7th, Sweet in 8th. Wait. Oh, there we go. Pro-Am. First, Malik. Second, Viney. Third, Zali. 4th, Withers. And 5th was Swazwan Swafik. AM class results, Zerky, Cugley, Chua, Scarman, and Stimson.
What did our Daffer leader in the race finish? What did he end up? I'll be able to grab that. I was seeing him slip down to 19th.
But that is split green and the Wednesday night session. That was great. I enjoyed that. Last thoughts here, Damiano?
Yeah, I enjoyed that comms with you as well, Sean. Very, it was challenging for me on my end, but you held well. You held your eye well. Excellent.
Big thank you to all our viewers. I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to join us tomorrow night for Split Blue and always get the colours wrong, but Split Blues tomorrow night from 8 p.m. But other than that, signing off for now. Thank you.
And Split Yellow following that one. Please
Split
join
Yellow.
us for Split Blue, which is the rain split.
Exactly. It probably will rain.
Good night and thank you.
Good night and thank you. And Thank you for watching.